Parameterization. Parameterization is another important concept, a very, very important concept. Parameterization enables you to provide multiple input data to the application. So what does this mean? You can, like how we did data table in QTP. Similarly, we have parameterization in LoadRunner. Now, here this is not an Excel sheet. Here it is either a CSV file, .csv file, or a .txt file. Usually we use a TXT file. We open it in a notepad, but the parameterization is saved as a .dat file. The file extension for parameterization is .dat. You can open it in a CSV or in a text notepad. Okay. However you want, you can open it, but the file extension of parameterization is .dat. Now, what is parameterization? We saw that we can put multiple data, similar to data table. Now, parameterization has multiple options available. Not like in QTP where it will only run sequential, right? In QTP, it will run only sequential, right? But here we have more control. We have more control on the parameterization. So let's see what it is. The concept is similar. That if I have multiple usernames, how do I test the application with multiple usernames? That's the concept, right? Now, using parameterization, how do we do that? That's what we are going to see now. Okay. Now, let me do the parameterization for the login. Now, for parameterization, there are multiple ways you can do it. First, I will show you how to do it in a more a little complicated way, and then I will show you the simplest way. Parameterization is available under vUsers parameter list. This is your parameterization. Click on this. You will have this parameterization window. Now, this displays all the existing parameters that you have already created. If you have not created anything, then you can click on New. Now, when you click on New, you have multiple things coming up here. Now, this is where you name the file. This is where you name the file. The name of the file is provided here. This is the type of parameter. Wait, hold on. Name of parameter file. This is the type of parameter file. You have multiple types of parameter files. Example, date and time, file, group name, iteration number, load generator name. These are all the list of parameter files. That is what you want to create. You want to create a date and time, you use this. You want to create a text where you want to pass the text, use file. You want to create a group name, use this. You want to create an iteration number, use this. Like this, you want to create a random number, use this. You want to create a unique number, use this. So similarly, you have multiple options. The common options that we use are date and time, file, random number. Sometimes we use a unique number. This is the common things that we use. Okay. Now we will see, first thing what we are going to see is, we are going to change the username and password. So you can do it here only. Just you say I'll say P underscore, since a parameter, I'll say user name. The file type should be, since it's a text that I'm entering, the file type will be file. Okay, not date and time, sorry. File type will be file. Now you see here, the path is automatically created. You don't need to go and save it. It will save within the folder. When you save the script, it will create a folder, like in QTP, like how QTP did, and this file will be inside that particular folder. Now it has columns and rows. You see here, one parameter list will automatically create one column. Don't create a column without a parameter list. Like in QTP we said, right, every action is associated to a data sheet. Similarly here, every parameter list that you create is associated with a column. So don't create a column without a parameter list. If you try to create like this, you see here, it's saying, what do I do with this? Within this, column name is u2 underscore 2. Okay. Now it is created here, but it does not have a parameter name here. So that will create confusion. Don't do that. So I deleted the column. Now I can say edit with notepad. I'll say edit with notepad, and here you see this is the column name. I'll give the value here. So I'll say Rajesh, and the last line of the parameter list, always the last line of the parameter list should be empty. Don't have multiple empty lines. No, this will be considered as a single line. So you have to remove everything. Only the last line, the pointer should point to the last line, which is an empty line. Close. Do you want to save? Yes. And the value comes here. So now you know the file type. Wait, hold on. What is this? What is happening here? Yep.
Raj, can you just show once again how you input the name?
Once again? Okay.
Thank
so
you.
What I did, I'm going to delete this. Okay, that's gone. When you open it will be like this. I click on new, and then I'll give the name here. P underscore USRNAME. Okay.
Okay.
Click outside. Now decide on what is the file type you want.
Mm-hmm.
So I want, since I'm going to give the username as text, I'm going to give it as file.
Okay.
Now, see, automatically that file got created.
Right.
The file name, everything got created. File name is equal to whatever name, parameter list name you have given.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to add a column. So
Okay.
now I selected the file name. Now there is nothing here. You see, the add column is not enabled.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say create table.
Okay.
So when you click on create table, you see here the column automatically gets created with the
This parameter
as the parameter name. The column name will be the parameter name. And it just filled in something, say value. Don't bother about this. You have to provide the value, right?
Okay.
So I'll click on notepad.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
And then I will give Rajesh. Whatever I want to enter. Enter, and the last line should be always blank.
Okay. Yeah.
Close it. It'll ask you, do you want to save? Say yes. And you see Rajesh got replaced.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Got it?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Rajesh, can you not fill the data in the box there given, or you always have to go to Notepad?
You can fill the data here. Nothing wrong. I can see. I can fill it here, but not a recommended way. Recommended way is to open it in Notepad to be correct, because what happens is when you fill it in here, the last line won't be empty.
Okay, yeah.
So you have to, that's why they say open it in Notepad, hit and enter, keep the last line always empty. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why we do it in Notepad.
Thank you.
Yep.
Rajesh, as we used only one column, it automatically took the parameter name, right? What if we have more than one column? Do we need to?
Every column I said will be associated with a parameter list. So you have to create a new parameter list to add a column. I'll show that how to do that.
Okay.
Now we saw that file type. We'll do date and time in the same script only. Now what we will do, now what we are going to see here is, what is this? We know what is this. This we forget it, we don't use this. This we will tell you when we are working with execution, not now. By number, by name. By default, every column is indexed. So the first column will be 1, second column will be 2, third column will be 3. You want to go with number. Now if you have multiple columns here and say column 5, I have to go count what is the column, 5th column. So we don't use this option. We go with by name. When you say by name, click the drop down, that name appears. So what happens is, for this particular column, when you call this name, it will go to this column. So it will recognize this column by this name, not by the number. When you have multiple columns, when you are working with multiple columns, I will explain this. And then when you are working with multiple data, I will explain this. So these two we'll hold on as of now. The next what you are going to see is select next row. What is the function that we used in QTP to go to the next row? Anyone who can tell me, I'll give 2 points. Yep.
Set next row.
Huh?
Set next row.
Set next row. Perfect. Okay. So now, similarly, that's here default. You see here, select next row. How do you want your next row to be selected? You have multiple options. You want it sequential, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, random or unique. Now, unique will work when we are working with execution. That means if I have 5 values here and I give 5 users for this script, every user will take unique data. That is, first user will take the first value, second user will take the second value, third user will take the third value. Going forward like that. If you give sequential, we'll simulate that here and see how the things take. So I'm going to give Rajesh. The second one I'm going to give, say, yeah. What's the question? What was the question? What was the question?
We want to go to next row, but do we have value here?
Yeah, I'm putting the value now. Now you see here, I'm putting the values, right?
Okay. So you asked it before putting the value, so I was just wondering set next row works there or not.
See here. I put the values here. Now let's go and I'm going to click sequential first. Let's see sequential. Sequential, I'm going to simulate. Now here it's asking how many users do you want to run? Just a simulation, it's not going to run anything. I say I want to run 5 users. Run until completion. Okay, no. Run until completion. How many iterations you want to run? I want to run say 5 iterations. 5 times I want to run 5 users. Simulate. Now you see here, since I use sequential, user 1 took Rajesh. User 1 took Rajesh first iteration. Second iteration it took Chitra. Third iteration it took Bhushan. The fourth iteration it took Monica. Fifth iteration it went back to Rajesh because we said each iteration. Now and you see here default it says continue with the last value. We don't have an option to select when it's each iteration. But default it is continue with the last iteration. That's why the fifth iteration it took Rajesh back. Second user you see, same pattern. Third user, same pattern. Fourth user, same pattern. So that is what is sequential. Now in sequential only you have each occurrence. That means if I have username at different locations, let's simulate. Okay, you can't simulate each occurrence. Here simulate. Okay. Now what happens in each occurrence is, say example in 4 places you have username. So I'm parameterizing all the 4, but it's one iteration. So when I log in with Rajesh and wherever username comes, it should be only Rajesh. Each occurrence what it will do, first occurrence it sent Rajesh, second occurrence it will put off Chitra. So we don't must use this each occurrence. Once, it will only show once. So for sequential, this is the best way. Each iteration is what we use. Second one is random. Let's simulate random in 5 iterations, I'm going to do 5 iterations, 5 users. You see here, first user picked up Rajesh, Chitra. Second user Chitra, Monica, Rajesh, Bhushan. It automatically generated a random number and based on the number it selected the value and displayed here. It displays here. That's how it random goes. Same random each iteration once. Always use each iteration. Next one is unique. Now unique, when I simulate, this option only for unique comes up. What should it do when it comes to the end of that particular file? Say example, I'm going to give about user. About user means it will terminate the extra user. Say I'm giving 5 users but I have only 4 data. So one user will automatically get aborted. So 5 user, 5 iteration I'm giving. You see here, since it's unique, what happened is each user took 111. So it has only 4 data in it. So if you are giving 5 users and multiple iterations, see to that it has enough data there. It has enough data here. If I give 1 iteration, you see here, it picked up 11111. So when you are giving, you have to see to that enough data is available. Otherwise, the script will start failing. Okay. Guys, you are able to understand this. If you give about user, otherwise if I give continue with a cyclic manner, 5 user, 5 iteration, still the same. Let's give continue with last value. 5 user, 5 iteration. You see, only for the first user, it continued the 5th iteration. Because it's continuing, but for the user 2, it does not have data at all. Now if I increase the iterations, you see, only for user 1, it's continuing. For user 2, there is no data. So you have to be very careful when you are using unique value there. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Any questions? Fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove off all this because those users are not there. We'll create new users. Yes. Now I'm using only 1 user. Fine. I gave it as sequential. Each iteration. Closed. So I created one. Now I have to replace this, right? So I'll right click on this, go to existing parameter, use existing parameter. You see here that parameter comes up, selected. Automatically it will get replaced. Then copy this and put Control F and replace all. Similarly, in order to do Mercury, that is the password, I'm going to go a different route. Same, I can go to insert, view user parameter list, create a new ID here. Let me do this method also, and then I will show you the other method. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say new parameter list. I'm going to give the name as p_password. Now, I don't want a new parameter to be created with a new column. Then how do I match this username with the password? I want it on the same file. So what I will do, instead of clicking over here, I will go here and say select the old parameter name itself, username. You see here, I selected the username. Instead of keeping it as a separate file, I selected the file username. I selected password. I selected the file username, and then I'll click on add column. So now what is happening, you see here that column is coming up here, added. That value comes here. You see these two columns get added. Now that means that this column and this column are next to each other in the same file. So Rajesh, what is the password for Rajesh? I can give it next. So I'll select this. You see here it is separated by a comma. So I'll say, so if a different user has Chitra has another password, say Google123, you can provide it next to each other. So we know what is the user and what is the password for that. Okay. Now there are certain things you need to change here. Again, I'm going to go by name, so I'll say, but you see here the name is not popping out. So what is the mistake I did? There's no mistake. It's not getting refreshed. That's all. Once you create this, close it and go to parameter list again. View user parameter list. Select password. Now select the drop down. You see it's come. It doesn't refresh immediately. So close and open again. Now I gave the name as password. Now this password is not sequential. For password Mercury, the username should be Rajesh. So when you expand this select next row, you will have a new line coming up saying same line as username. Select that, not anything else, because when it's asking for username, it will say Rajesh. When it's asking for password, whatever is in the line of username, provide that value. We don't want any other value, because the application will fail if you give a wrong password. So select same line as username. Select that and give OK. Now you can go and select this, right click, existing, password, done. So now these two values are being parameterized, and the value for this will come from the parameter list. Value for this will come from the parameter list. Guys, you are able to understand this? Hi guys, able to understand this? Fine. There is another way to do parameter. The same thing, there is another way to do parameter. Now I'm going to do parameter for this. Fly from and fly to. So I'll right click on this. Instead of going here to view user, parameter list and clicking on new, I'm going to right click on I'm going to select the value like this, double click the value so that it's selected. Right click on this and say replace with parameter. This is the second way of doing it. When you select this, you will get this window like this. Here it's asking for the parameter name. So I'll say C_fly from. Now it is asking for the parameter type. Whatever type. I'm giving the data, so I'll give file. This is the value that's going to go inside. I'll say OK. We'll talk about properties next. I'll say OK. Now if you go to parameter list, you will see that same it got created. You see here, only thing it will be in default. So I have to select this, fly from, rest all sequential each iteration. Good. Next I'm going to do fly to. Right click, create parameter list. I'm going to give here p underscore fly to. Now I want it in the same line as the, like how username and password got created, fly from and fly to should be in the same line. So how will I do that? Instead of going and doing it in the list, I'll click on the properties. After giving fly to, I'll directly click on properties instead of OK. Now this window pops up. I don't want it to be in a separate fly to. I'll select this. Which one I wanted? Fly from I wanted, right? So I'll select that. Now the fly from comes up, add column. You see fly to comes up here, say OK. You see here, both comes next to each other. Now by name, that will not appear here. Fly to will not appear here. So I'll say close, OK. That will get created. Now go back to your parameter list just to get that refreshed. Select fly to, and this should be in the same line as fly from. So whatever fly from is selected, the same line of fly to will also get selected. Guys, you are able to understand the two ways I did the parameterization. Any questions? Any questions? Fine. Now I'm going to run one iteration. So I'm going to log in. I'm going to do the fly from, fly to, select the flight. So what is the ordinal I selected? Ordinal is 3. Now I wanted to give a random number here. I know there are 4 values that come up. I want to give a random number. So what I'll do, I'll select 3, right click, replace with existing parameter. I'll give here, what should I give? Out flight, p underscore out flight. Now the file type should be random. So I'll go file type, random number. I'll select properties. Instead of clicking OK, don't click OK. Select properties. You see here it's generating a random number, minimum 1 and maximum 100. We don't want 100. We want only till 4. Maximum of 4. Don't give each occurrence. I'll give each iteration. Iteration means the whole script it's going to run. Right from login to logout is one iteration. So it's going to give this. Okay. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to do this also. Here why should I create a new one? I'll put the same out flight only here also, because whatever random number generates here, I will use the same random number here also. Replaced with existing out flight. Fine. What else do I need to do? That's all. So let's run this and see how it works. I'm going to take this out. Yeah.
Shouldn't one be the in-flight? You put both as out-flight.
See why I put both as out-flight? A random number gets generated here.
Okay. Okay.
Here also I need a random number. So I'll use the same random number here. Number only I need here, right? If 4 gets generated, I'll select 4 here. What difference it will make, right? I'll remove the... Let's run line by line. I'm going to run line by line. So I'll put a breakpoint here. Function F9. Now I'm going to hit run. What is the error message? Process. The process cannot be access the file because
it is open. The website is open. The flight can.
No, it's nothing to do with the website. It's nothing to do with the website. Where is it? Name cannot be opened. Okay, what's something wrong with the data file? Let's see what happens here. It's saying that See here, read the output. You see, username could not be opened. Let's see what is the problem. It's correct only, no? Yeah, it's correct. Okay, compile. Something wrong, error code. Something went wrong with this. Okay, I don't know what is the wrong. So let's clean this up. What we will do is we'll go here, delete it. Delete from file. Delete from file. Yes. This also I don't need, so I'll delete. Delete from file. Okay. Now let's regenerate this. It's just a script. It can get corrupted. So let me regenerate this. Replace with parameter. I'll say p underscore username. Okay. Just a parameter p underscore pwd. Now I have to be, it should be on the same line. So I'll say properties. Select you under username. Add column. Name type as it's not at come. Okay. Sequential I'll select. Same line as username. Close. Okay. Go back to your parameter list and say p underscore password. Now let's compile and see. See, something wrong. It got corrupted. Just redo that. It will work. Now let's run this. Okay. Now we'll run line by line. So to run line by line, I'm going to press F10. F10. First line got executed. I'm running line by line. It's in that think time of 5 seconds. Okay. I'm going to run F10. F10. Okay. You see here, the password, username got replaced as Rajesh and the password got replaced as Mercury. Okay. Now I'm going to run this code. So it's going to log in. Now it's logged in. Now it's going to generate a random number. It generated a random number 3. Can you see here? It's going to use the same random number there also. So now let's run this. What is the third value? This is the third value. That is 192 and 912. Let's validate that. Third is 192 and third one is 912. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I can run the script. That's all. But so guys, any questions on parameterization? Now tomorrow I'm going to do let's do one more parameterization for date and time. Why do we use date and time? If an application has date and time, we can use the date and time there, or one more place that we use date and time. Now if you see here, go to sign out, register. Now I'm trying to register with the same name, Rajesh, and the password as Mercury. Mercury. Now if I register, it will not allow me to register saying that the username is already exists. So if I have to have a registration script, my user ID should be unique. How do I give every time a unique value? Are you going to type all the unique data in a script, in an Excel sheet and going to pass it into this? No. We are going to generate unique data. How are we going to generate? What we are going to do here, I'm going to quickly record that script. Let's do that script. So I'm saying file, HTTP, HTML. I'm going to close the application. Say start recording. Wait, hold on. I didn't check the recording options. Start recording, recording options. Yeah, I wanted this to be disabled. Sorry, perfect. It's still the same. Okay. Let me close the browser. Go ahead. Yes. I'm going to say, I was too slow. Launch. Let it launch. Okay, launch the application. I'll say launch close. Not bothered about the spelling now. I'll say register. Register. Close. Now I'm going to give a name here. So I'll say Rajesh _1. Mercury. And I'm going to say register _ submit. Done. Username got registered. Perfect. Stop. Okay. So now I'm going to say file, save as. I will say here light registration. Registration _ original script. Now I'll save as and _ registration v1. So the first thing I will do is remove off all the extras. See here, there is one line here. That's all. The extras. This is my _2. Right. Now let's create. I'm going to create _2 and see whether it is working. The script is working, right? I'll just check the script. So I'm going to run this. Done. So I should be able to log in with Rajesh _2. Sign on. Rajesh _2 Mercury. What happened? Home. Rajesh _2 Mercury. Perfect. So I'm able to log in. So my script is working. Now, if I run the script again, it will fail. So every time are you going to change this, or you're going to put Rajesh _3, parameterize it and run, put the list of Rajesh _3, 4, 5, 6 down. We're not going to do this. So for this, we are going to generate a unique data. How do we generate a unique data? So what I will do, I will say my username as Rajesh _. I'm going to create a random number here. Random number _. I'm going to say minute and seconds. So a random number, minute and seconds. So this will say example Rajesh. It will create a a value like this, Rajesh underscore random number, say like 3 underscore minute and second. So what is the minute now? It's 36 and 45. Something like that it will generate. So let's create like this. How do you create like this? So what I'll do, I'll select this 2. So first of all, I'll just create a dummy data like this, so that it's easy for me to select and create. So Rajesh underscore 2 I will select, right click, replace with parameter, file type I'll say p underscore uname ran, random number, and I will select the file type as random number. I'll go to properties, 1 to 100. Just generate me a random number between 1 to 100. That's more than enough. You want a specific format like 01 to 01 to 100, or you want 001 to 100, however format you want. So it will go 001 to 009, then 010, 011, it go like that to 099, then it will print 100, however you want. Each iteration. Okay, so I generated a random number there. Then I want to generate minute and time. So I'll select this, right click, replace with parameter. I will say p underscore. I'll say u name dt. Whatever name you want to give, you can give. Not this. Oh God. Cancel. Don't create it. I think mistakenly it would have got created. No, it didn't get created. No, it didn't get created. Okay. Now right click. I'm going to say again right click. Replace with parameter. P underscore uname dt. Date. I'll select this as date and time. I'll select this as date and time, and then go to properties. Now you have different values here. You can create your own also in the similar format to whatever you want. So I want is just minute and seconds. Let's see which shows minutes and seconds. No, it doesn't show anything minutes and seconds. This one shows hours, minutes and seconds, but it says hour, minute, seconds. So what I will do, I will just remove the hours here. You see, this is the table where we can edit. So I'll just say select colon and the hour, and I'll delete. You see here it's going out. I don't want the colon between seconds and minutes, so I'll remove that also. Just remove the colon. You see here now it's 39, 33, 39, 34. It keeps changing. Here you can provide this also, offset. Whenever you are using date, right? If you are using date, you can offset the date by, if you say example, in our flight reservation Windows-based application, right? We had to offset the date by 1 day. Remember guys, the date of booking the flight should be current date plus 1. So what we did in the code, we got the current date and then added a plus 1 to get the next day. But here we don't need to do that. Select offset. How many days you want to offset? Say 1. It will take the current day and offset another day. And if you want only weekdays, that is you want only weekday, that is Monday to Friday, don't want to select any date on Saturday and Sunday, check this weekdays only. Okay. Sometimes you want prior date. What happens is, sometimes you wanted to create, when you are using an application where you wanted to search for, say example, a banking application you are doing. You wanted to search for a set of transactions. That is 3 months transaction. So today's month is what? November. So 3 months before, October, Where is it? September, October, November. Yeah. So I wanted to search from September to November. How do you go back? So I will say offset date, offset by previous, prior to current date, and how many days you want to offset. I can put 3 months is what? 90 days, so I'll say 90. So it will give me a date which is 90 days previous to the current date. Guys, you are able to understand? You are able to understand?
Yes, yes.
You are able to understand this?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Rajesh.
What about you?
Yes, Rajesh.
You?
But I had to execute everything, by myself again. I had to go through.
You have to go through line by line and physically do it. That's when you will have a understanding for that. Okay?
Yeah, otherwise I don't get, so I had to do it.
Yes. If you have to do it and me teach you, it won't be a 2-hour class, it will be a 8-hour class.
So
yeah, okay. So now here we just want a random current date. So I'll just remove this offset out and I'm going to use just the current minute and seconds. Okay. Okay. So now Rajesh with a random number and a date and a time. Let's run this and see. Let's see what it gets generated. Run. Done. Now what? Let's see. Oh God, I did not enable the parameter. See, I did not enable the parameter value. So see, did not print the parameter value. So I have to go to runtime settings, view user runtime settings, log, always send messages, extended parameter, parameter substitute. So I don't know what is the user ID that got generated. So I'm going to rerun it again. Done. You see, next time also the user ID got generated. I did not make any changes. That's more than enough for what we have done. So the random number is 079 and the date, the U date that we got is 4324. So let's log in with that. Sign out. Home. Rajesh underscore 079 underscore 4324. 4324. See, I'm able to log in. Guys, you are able to understand this. Any questions? Any questions? Yep.
Why did it selected 79 and we selected the range from 1 to 100? It just selected the random number.
Yes, it's a random number. It just generated a random number 079. That's all.
Okay.
There is nothing specific to it. It just generated a random number.
Okay. Within that range, 1 to 100.
Within that range, yes. Within that range, it generated a random number.
Okay.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Fine. So that is all what we see in parameter. So parameter, we substitute that value and take it. Now one more thing that I forgot to tell you about parameter is, if you go to parameters, not this, wait, hold on, this one. Say example, I have multiple data here. Say fine. Now I have multiple data here. Now imagine I'm validating these data. test data whether these logins are working. So when I'm validating, see, imagine I wanted to check whether Bhushan is working. Do I need to run all the three to see Bhushan working, or go inside and remove these two and copy and do this, Control X, move Bhushan on top? Do I need to do this? No, we don't need to do all these activity. No, I'm not going to save it. We don't need to do all this activity. That's why we have this first line data. So the main, go to username, that's the main, because password is connected to the username. So now here I did not select me. Okay, I'll select the username. Now here, what I will do here, see the first line data is enabled as 1. Increase it. You see here, Rajesh is gone. Bhushan. Now Bhushan will be the first line data. But if you open, both Rajesh and Chitra is there. Only that it is hiding that data so that it starts with Bhushan, not with Rajesh. If you do this for validation, remember to move it back to 1. Otherwise, you will lose 2 data in your when you are running your test. Guys, you are able to understand? Any questions? Any questions? Yep.
Can you explain this one more time, Rajesh?
This one? Yeah. Say you have so many data. Okay. Now you wanted to check something changed in the login ID for Bhushan. So you want to check Bhushan, or you want to check Monica. Okay. Monica is in the 4th row, right? You're getting me? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. It's in the 4th row. Now how do you check the 4th row only? I don't want to check 1, 2, 3. I just want to check 4th. You have to go in here and remove all this down, right? In order for this to come up.
Yes.
You don't need to do that. You have something called the first data line. Now first data line is always number 1. That means the first row will be 1. Now what is where Monica sitting? Monica sitting is in the 4th row. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. Now see, the first line data will be the 4th row. So when you run the script, it will pick up Monica. Let's run it and see. I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to stop here just to see the data.
So what happened to the 1, 2, 3?
It's there only. Only thing is it's hidden. Now if you open note,
hidden, and only the one Monica came 1, and that one only will execute.
It will execute. See, now I'm going to execute. See, Monica is there. Now I'm going to execute. Now I'm going to put a pause. Let's see what data it can take up. So it launched the application. It's waiting for 5 seconds. Yes. You see? It picked up Monica.
Okay.
You're getting me?
Yes. Can you please go back to that Excel table one more time?
Table. What is that? What is the table?
The data.
Parameter.
Parameter.
Use the right word. Okay.
So here the usernames are different and the password is the same, right?
But actually, if your password is different, you have to give that specific password.
Okay.
Say example, your password is say capture 123. You have to give that password there, no? That's the reason I said put the username and password in the same line. So you know what is the password for Monica. If you put it in another line, say example in another like this, in another one, what will happen? You have to see, okay, third one is Monica. You will select the password and then see what is the third one. There's no, you can't link it, right? It's not easy. Here you can easily identify. That's why I say put it in the same line.
Yeah, but here we, like for understanding purpose, we gave the passwords are same, but usually don't, right?
Usually it will be different. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Got you. Thank you, Rajesh.
Yeah. Yeah, what's your question?
My question is, does it execute from Monica or does it execute only Monica?
It executes from Monica.
Okay.
If I say I want to run 2 iterations, it will run Monica and Preeti.
Oh, okay.
So the first 3 it's hidden, so it won't start for the first 3.
Okay.
You got it? Yep.
So Rajesh, if we give 5 iterations after Monica and Preeti, it goes again back to Rajesh?
No. Say I give sequential, right? Sequential each iteration. Now how much it is here? 5, right?
That's
Simulate.
9.
You see here Monica Preeti, Monica Preeti, Monica Preeti, Monica Preeti.
Oh.
That's hidden. It won't use. That's why I said if you are using that line 3 and line 4 and validating, remember to go and put it to number 1. Otherwise, I lost 3 data. See.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we have to be careful with that.